Good morning, everyone. My name is Dion, Parson, and it's a pleasure to be here today. I brought along some friends of mine. I'm not going to be doing much talking. I'm going to have my dear friend Steve Turre do most of the talking today. And we're going to play for you and share with you what we do as an ensemble and talk about the different instruments up there. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Mr. Steve Turre on trombone and conch shells.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I would like to introduce you to our piano player. He's from Venezuela in South America. His name is Benito Gonzalez. And our bass player is a bass violin, a contrabass. And it's in the violin family. It's not an electric bass like a bass guitar. It's an acoustic bass violin. And his name is Gerald Cannon. And my name is Steve Turre. And I play the trombone and the shells. See the shells? I play this too. We're gonna show you, we're gonna play a song for you called Trayvon's Blues.
Thank you.
So you heard the trombone, and I played it with the plunger mute when it's going wah wah. You hear that when I went wah wah? And then I played the sound of the shell. And then the trombone has some other sounds too. See these things up here? These are called mutes. And you put the mute in the horn to change the sound. You have the natural sound of the horn. We call that the open horn, like that. You don't have to cover your ears, darling. A few times I got loud because the tune they have with dynamics. Sometimes it's very soft, other times they get loud. I hit a few loud notes and the kids go, But the funny thing is, if it was some electric guitars up here playing real loud, they wouldn't do that. But I surprised them. That's what it was. I surprised you. But this makes it softer. This doesn't make it louder. It makes it softer. But I'll show you what I mean. Now I'm gonna play it. This is called a cup mute. What is it? See how that's a different sound? Now, this is called a harmon mute. Now, if I play it off the mic, it sounds one way. But when I play it soft and do it on the mic, it's a different sound. See how that's a different sound? Then I showed you the plunger. But then they got the Duke Ellington sound with the plunger. It's called the Pixie. You put that in there like that. Then you put this one over the end of it. It's two mutes in one. And you got. You like that one? Oh yeah. You're Charlie Brown. In fact, you like that sound with the Pixie? I'm gonna play you a little song with that. Have you ever heard of Duke Ellington? Have any of you kids heard of Duke Ellington? Yeah, he's on a stamp, a postage stamp in the United States. And we're gonna play one chorus of In a Sentimental Mood by Duke Ellington. Now, I want to introduce you to Benito, and he's going to tell you about the piano and the different ways you can play that.
So, how are you doing today? Yeah, Please give it up for Steve. He's a great mentor. Really respect this. I've been listening to him since I came out in Venezuela. He used to play with the great Dizzy Gillespie, and it's an honor for me to be here to begin with. So anyway, what can I say about the piano? The piano is a percussion instrument also. We also play harmonies, chords, like. But we also play percussion with the piano sometimes, like this. So, we also can play really soft, and we also can play really loud. So that's the dynamics in this instrument, and it's also I see it most like a percussion instrument. I used to play percussion when I was a kid. I used to play hand drums, and that's always been my approach to the piano. But I love this instrument. It has so many different colors that we can do, and we also can do things with the pedal, with the sustain pedal. The sustain pedal is this pedal right here, the first one, who made the notes play a little longer. Like if I don't use the sustain pedal, it will sound really short. And if I use the sustain pedal, see how the notes stay there. So sometimes I use the sustain pedal to make different colors and different harmonies in the piano. See, and the short pedal is to play some other ideas. So anyway, this is some of the stuff we can do with the piano. I love this instrument, and I'm gonna give it to Gerald Cannon, and he's gonna talk a little bit about the bass. He's a great bass player.
Hello, kids. Well, first of all, I have to say this is the greatest instrument on the stage right now because of the bass. But the bass, unlike all other instruments, is it's just a piece of wood. You see, there's no dials. There's 4-string E, A, D, G, and my primary function in this type of setting is accompanist. Do you know what accompanist is? That's arco. But I'm in the middle. If you notice, I'm here. The piano's here, the drums there, and Steve, or our singer, is out front. So my job is basically to keep things glued together, which is part of the company. So, like a lot of times you'll see me walking quarter notes. You know what a quarter note is? What's a quarter note? All right, close enough. Anyway, quarter note is if there's 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one of those beats is a quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I play is. I'm on with the drummers. You notice we have to, well, all of us back here, we call the rhythm section. Chords, time groove. So this is playing 8 bars. So if you can go 1, 2, if you guys can go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Are you clapping on 2? You're clapping on 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm playing 1. You get that? What?
Do that again, please.
Pardon me?
Could you do that again, please?
Sure. So everybody, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Anyways, any questions about the bass? Well, you know, it's heavy to carry, but you know, it kind of just leans in on you. You just keep it balanced. This one, it's called the end pin. It's what raises and lowers the bass. See, for tall people like me, I have to have it out here. Depending on your height, is where you put it. This is for, it's called a bow quill. Now, this is not my bass, but if I had my bass, I would have my bow sit in there, and then when I need to take it out in arc mode, so sometimes you have to take it out real fast and put it back real fast. You can't be foaming it, sticking it on there. I don't. Okay, which one? Okay, all right, well, thank you.
All right, let's have a hand for Gerald Cannon. And Dion, Parson, he talked to you about the drum.
Thank you. So we all know that this is called the drums, right? And we all agree that this is the best instrument to play, right? Who agree with me? Raise your hand. This is the best drum. See, yeah, majority rules. We always have this running joke, which one is the best instrument? A matter of fact, a rhythm section cannot function without the support of each instrument equally, the piano, the bass, and the drums. And as a matter of fact, I studied the bass in college. That was the instrument of choice for my string pedagogy class. And every music major have to play the piano. So we all have a little bit of piano skills. Not as good as Mr. Gonzalez over there.
So the piano is the best instrument.
And even when I tune the drums harmonically to notes. So when I'm playing, the harmonies, function within what's happening on the bandstand. I just don't put a drum head on and just tune it up and leave it alone. So you have to be aware, even as a drummer, you have to be aware of the harmonies that's going on. My job mainly is to keep time, even though we all are responsible for the time, but my job mainly is to keep time, and I play along with the bass while he's walking, and I color the music also, and I help to control the dynamics. Within the drum set we have, from the bottom up, the bass drum. This is a bass drum. Sounds like this. Then we have, and this is like the daddy of the music. You know, this is the bottom. This is the mommy. So in pop music, that's what you really hear. You know, but in jazz it's a little bit different. In jazz it's structured from the right cymbal being feathered by the bass drum. So in jazz, the pulse is really in the right cymbal, and when you're always clapping in 2 and 4, we say chomp. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chomp. So that helps to lock the rhythm in. So the time is really kept between the bass, the right cymbal, and the hi-hat. So if you notice while we're playing, just listen out for these things, and that's where the time is. It's really easy to follow if you know what to listen to. And Steve plays the melody. We kind of create a bed of sound for him to sit on top of, and he plays the melody. But with the drums, you can do a lot of things. And this is one of the fun things I like to share with my students. How many drummers do we have in the audience? 2, 3, 4 drummers? Okay, so do any of you guys know what a paradiddle is? You know what a paradiddle is? It's a rudiment, right? Okay, so a paradiddle is a rudiment that goes like this. It's right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. You can still hear me, right? Okay, so that's what it sounds like, just playing on the drums. And if you break it up, one of the good things about being a drummer, we play stick patterns. So you have a stick pattern. Okay, so you break up a stick pattern and you put that pattern around the drums. So let's say for instance, the hi-hat and the snare drum. So you have that's what we do as a drummer. You know, you take these rudiments. Rudiments are like scales, but they're more like phrases that's played on the drums. And you once you understand the sticking, you can move them around the drums and get these really hip, funky sounds. You know, okay, so I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna take a double paradiddle. A double paradiddle is a paradiddle with 2 extra strokes, okay? So that's how playing the drums works. It's a little complicated, but once you get a hold of it, it makes a lot of sense. So my job is to play these rhythmic patterns, and Gerald's job is to add the bass to it, and Benito's job is to add the bass to it. But Benito's job is to add these harmonies, and we create a sound platform for Steve to play on top of. So it's real unique how we function together. But it's fun once we understand what our job is. We have a lot of fun together. We play a lot of really nice and wild stuff. So that's what I do as a drummer. Thank you.
You know, I almost forgot something very important about the trombone, and I also have a surprise for you. It involves questions. And I have a question for you kids. How do you change the notes on the trombone? Do you know what you call that tube thing? Well, you got the answer right, but what does this do when it goes like this? Yes, it changes the pitch. And this is called a slide, because this is a slide trombone. And they have a valve trombone, like a trumpet. You know, with a trumpet, you change the notes by pressing the valves with your fingers. With a saxophone or a flute or the woodwinds, you have keys and you press the keys with your fingers. But with the trombone, and I was given a surprise. So for answering that question right, I got a ticket for you here for the concert tomorrow night. So just to let you know. See, I go da 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 for when I come. See, that makes it clean. So if I do a scale. But if I don't use that, I go. And that's the slide. Okay, now I got another question. Is the piano a melody instrument, a harmony instrument, or a percussion instrument? You stuck your hand up quick. You right there. Yes, that's right.
Percussion.
Come on, get your ticket. Come and get your ticket. Here's a ticket for tomorrow night's concert. You're welcome. Now, Gerald, you got a question for him about the bass?
How many strings on the bass?
Very much. 4 strings on the bass. All right, come and get your ticket. We got to make sure you're paying attention. See, it pays to pay attention. You don't learn anything when you're talking. You only learn when you're listening and watching. Dion got a question for you about the drums.
Okay, so his hand just went up. He's like, I got the answer right away. I'll get my ticket. Okay, so
Yeah, you don't know what the question is.
I didn't really give the name of these things up here. They look like flying saucers. But if anybody can tell me what are these and tell me 2 types of them, you know, because the answer is really easy. It's 2 types. It's 2 types. It's more than 2 types, but tell me what these are and can you tell me 2 types of them?
What's that guy there? Huh? Cymbals in the hi-hat. Yeah. All right, come and get your ticket. Get a picture. All right. Now, Benito's got a question for you about the piano.
So the question is, how many keys the piano has? Right here. No, that's not right. Another one, right there. How many? 88. That's good. Come and get your ticket.
Oh, Dion got another question for the drums.
Okay, so for all of the drummers out there,
How many drummers out there? Oh, man, look at all the drummers.
a lot of drummers. So I mentioned that horn players and bass players, they play scales, but as drummers, we play something else. We don't play scales, we do something else. Can anybody tell me? All the way in the back. All the way in the back, yo, all the way in the back. Okay, right there in the white spot, yes. We don't play scales, we play, no. Next to you. Beats, no. All the way in the back, yes. Drums, not quite. Okay, blue shirt over here. Yes. No, right here, yes. Time, not quite. These instruments all play scales, but we don't have scales. We do some, don't yell the answer out. All the way in the back, young man, yes. Rhythm, not quite. You guys are drummers. You guys, okay, right here. It's not beats. Okay, right over here. Huh?
What?
Phrases? Close, getting close, yes. Paradiddles is part of them. There's 26 of these things. Paradiddles is just one of them. Right there. Not quite. It's a tricky question. We talked about this. Okay, yes, right there. Everybody's pointing to you, yes. No. Nobody? They play scales and we play, starts with an R. It's not rhythm. Okay? Rudiments. There you go. Yes.
All right, and remember that the concert is at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. 8 o'clock. Now we're going to play another song for you. This one's by Herbie Hancock. But if you want us to play for it, then you got to be quiet. Just start with the piano like that. not in the front, so I'm gonna ask them from in the back. Who played the last solo, the very last solo? That little boy there. Somebody, put you, okay. Yeah, you. No, you're gonna hide now. All right, this young lady there. Who played the last solo? The drums. Okay, come and get your ticket. It's tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. All right. Now I got another question. Who is the composer of that song? Who wrote that song? No, don't say it out loud. We got to answer the question. You. Herbie Hancock. Come and get your ticket. Yeah, they're listening. 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
What is it called?
Yeah, oh, that's coming. What? Does anybody know the name of that song? Huh? I didn't say the name of that song, but does anybody know the name of that song? It's not Main Voyage. He don't need a ticket. He's gonna play. All right, the name of that song is what? Cantaloupe Island. Yeah. Wow. Cool. Oh, they played it in the jazz band. That's great. That's great. Well, I got one more left.
He's like, I need two.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Are there any questions from you to me about the shells? Does anybody have a question? Yeah. How do I change the notes? Okay, let me explain about the shells. Do you all play the shells here on the island? Well, I know they do in St. Thomas, but to sell fish, yeah. But you know, yeah, you gotta die for them, and you take the animal out, and it tastes real good. You can eat it. Conker's delicious. But this instrument, the shell, is the roots of the brass. It's like came before people had metal to make an instrument like this. They used to play instruments like this. If you notice the mouthpiece on the trombone, see how it's that round thing? It's the same on the shell. And so when I play the trombone, I buzz my lips into the horn like this. See? Well, I do the same thing with the shell. I buzz my lip into it. But it's a different kind of sound, because this was alive once. That was manufactured out of metal. I see another question there, young lady. Oh, you put your hand up, I point to you. Let her ask a question. The reason I'm good at it is because I started when I was little like you. I started playing the trombone in the 4th grade in the school band, but I never stopped. I never gave up, and I liked music, and I just kept doing it, and I practiced, and I spent many hours studying and practicing and listening to other musicians that were great and trying to follow their example. And it just grows on you. Is the more time that you spend with it, the better you get. It's as easy as that. Yeah, young lady. This one is not actually a conch shell. This is a triton shell. But I have a conch. I got some. I'll play them tomorrow night. I'll play the conch tomorrow night. This young man here. Well, I play jazz on the shells, but
I couldn't hear you, darling.
oh, her sister's little name is Jazz. That's beautiful. Yeah. Well, I think it's time. I got one more ticket. Oh. Okay, I got the question. What is this called? Wait a minute. Shh. Stand, you bro. Stand up. Yeah, I want to hear your answer.
Say it loud.
A mute. All right. Say it loud. Okay, we'll do one more short song and then we're going to say bye-bye. Thank you very much. Thank you. Did y'all have a good time? All right. Well, we hope to see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Anyway, have a safe trip home and thank you very much.